This episode will cover two vital symbiotic components that have contributed heavily to online exposure of Chris Chan, general interest in him, and arguably an increase in trolling. Thanks to Daniel Mims and Lucas White, the internet's introduction to Chris in 2007 took shape via the websites Something Awful and 4chan. These both provided curious onlookers with the opportunity to observe and comment on his comics, his behavior, and other soon uncovered information. Though attention towards Chris bloomed on both sites, it served as an inspiration to tell the story in full on one location, but the story would be placed on another site by one figure in particular, which would lead to the page becoming one of the most popular on that website.
Jason Kendrick Howell, you bastard! You bastard! You hacked into everything! You have driven me so beyond the wall I can't even describe it! You love me now, but I pray you dead! Goodbye!
It is 2007. Chris is 25 years old. That October, two websites, Something Awful and later 4chan, created pages dedicated to Chris. On 4chan in particular, the site would include snippets of information pertaining to him, including his Sonichu comics, his MySpace page, his website, and even including a link to Anna McLaren's blog entry. Further information would emerge, including Chris's vendetta against Mary Lee Walsh. One of the people that saw this page was Jason Kendrick Howell. On November 3rd, 2007, Jason Kendrick Howell, aged 20 years old, will create a Chris Chan page for the website Encyclopedia Dramatica, a satirical wiki site. According to a 20-question interview conducted between him and ED from November 3rd, 2009, Howell answers questions including his discovery of ED, how he was introduced to Chris, and why he decided to create the ED page. He came to the site in 2007 after finding it on 4chan, leaving behind Encyclopedia. He does state that he believed that Chris Chan was first posted about on /co and /b and /v on 4chan in 2007, but acknowledges seeing him on both 4chan and Something Awful. Quote, "Back in November 2007, Chris Chan became a major attraction on 4chan due to his website and comic. Back then, we knew very little about his personal life outside of the stuff that is on his now deleted MySpace page and his old website. Over time, people started to dig up even more stuff on him, such as the blog of a mall worker who saw him pacing back and forth watching stuff on his GBA. This had gone on for several days, so I decided to make an ED page on him in order to document most of the findings. I was involved in the earlier creation of the page, but I let other people work on it after a week or so." Chris discovers the page 2 days after it's made, emailing Anna McLaren and describing it as, quote, "the worst weekend of my life." 4 days later, he posts a video entitled Chris Chan's Public Announcement, wherein he introduces himself to the ED trolls under the belief that they do not understand who he is or his work. He provides background information and calmly, civilly asks the creators of the web pages about him to either take the pages down or rewrite them to depict him in what he believes to be a better and more realistic light. He asks for it to not be as negative and to be more positive. A few days later, he provides the following comment on his ED page. "I am adding the positivity this hellhole of a website needs. You just do not appreciate the positivity I am adding to the page. What I am doing is a stand against offensive, unnatural, unrequired additions to any female image. What I am doing is a stand for every single woman everywhere, because no woman would ever want such a horrific twist of fate. What I am doing is a stand against the very thing that is not funny at all. So, draw breasts, vaginas, uterus, ovaries, and the God-given eggs within them, you 2-inch short dickheads. Sincerely, Christine Weston Chandler, a man for the women, for the women's rights, for the women's justice, for the women's peace. P.S. Grow a backbone and go ask women out as well, you trolls." Chris came back to the site and left a comment wherein he laid out how the ED page has affected his life, compromised his privacy, tarnished his reputation as well as his gal pals and his original characters. He admits that he was angry and he let his emotions control his actions, admitting to attempting to edit the page and get it deleted. He says he does not want to do it anymore, and he ends with a question that he asks the trolls, and he expresses his wish for them to provide a detailed explanation. Why do you hate me so much? What did I do against you to cause the hatred against me? What physical or emotional harm have I ensued unto you? Why do you hate me for being myself in this world full of people who can't help but be themselves? I've had nothing against any of you. I don't even know any of you personally, as far as I know. I have nothing that any of you have already, so why? I leave you with that to ponder and ponder again over. Chris later attempted to upload his own artwork to counteract Edie's artwork, including She Came for Quick, which led to the dissolution of his and Megan Schroeder's friendship, upon which Chris blamed Edie. He appeared to cease efforts to directly deal with Edie around summer 2008. Howell discusses his continued interaction with Chris. Quote, "A few months afterwards, I think like June or so, I found a comment on my talk page for ED from Chris asking me why I created the page on him and dragged his name through the mud. I sent him a rather sarcastic email back, and he made a YouTube video about it. It was one of the first times that anyone had gotten him that badly from a troll point of view." On August 6, 2008, Chris uploads a video entitled "Attention All Sonichu Fans, Not Haters," and calls on Sonichu fans to assist him. He declares that if the fans want him to continue making content, they must take down the ED page so he would be more comfortable. He asks that the fans direct all their complaints to Jason Kendrick Howell, providing his aliases. He reads a snippet from the email he received from Howell, then refers to Howell as, quote, "the dork of ages." He reiterates his wish for people to send complaints and express hatred towards Howell. Then Chris shows a piece of paper with Howell's full name, his email address, and any known aliases. He ends with the following.
"And that's for you, Jason Kendrick Howell. As sure as I am to get at least 1 ounce of vagina, I have your number, and you're going down."
Later that day, he sends an email to Bill O'Reilly of Fox News, CCing NBC Dateline and Nightly. He tells him about the ED page and how they're mocking him, including evidence that he believes is confirmation that Howell is the creator of the page, providing the full email he received from Howell. Quote, "Hello, Chris. This is Howell Games, the creator of the ED page for you. My, you seem rather angry about it in your last YouTube video. A few months ago, you asked me why I made the page for you. My reason? You were too damn funny to ignore. I have nothing against you personally, but you really need to let go some of that anger you have. Also, the page will not be brought down. Toodles. Sincerely, Howell Games, aka Liquid Snake, aka Jason Kendrick Howell." Christian concludes by saying that he wants the page to be taken off the web and wants Howell taken down for good and forever. Howell further expands on his interactions with Chris. Quote, "I exchanged a few more emails with him, and he eventually stopped talking for a little bit and made one of his comics about me and my then girlfriend at the time, Kathleen. I did a stupid thing back then, and gave him my phone number in the hopes that I might be able to screw with him over the phone. But he used that as a way to track me down and find my MySpace page, which led to the comic. He sent me an email shortly afterwards saying that he put me into a comic, and that was the last I heard of him for a while. The comic that Howell is referring to is Sonichu number 8, which was finished on January 1st, 2009. In episode 17, Rage Against the Garbage, Howell and his then-girlfriend Kathleen are depicted as the primary antagonists, since the comic version of Howell uploaded lewd depictions of Chris, Sonichu, and Rosachu on the fictional website 4centgarbage.com. Later on, Howell would lend his voice to his comic book depiction for Vivian G's Sonichu audiobook series on YouTube, appearing in the audiobook version of Sonichu number 8, A Jason Perspective, and appearing alongside Clyde Cash, Jack Thaddeus, and Falcion for Sonichu number 10 Special Edition. On January 17, 2009, Chris made a post for the web forum Sonichu Girls, where he tells his fans that Howell has hacked into his AOL account, deleted his emails, and hacked into the forum account. He goes on to say that Howell hacked into his Tripod account and deleted it. He took the Sonichu.net domain name and placed it on eBay, setting the price at $1,000. After expressing his frustration, Chris affirms that he'll do what he can to fix the situation, and he asks for Sarah May and Cassandra, two of the primary members of the Sonichu Girls, to block his current account. He tells his fans that he won't intervene if they decide to bother Howell, and he says, quote, "I pray to God and Jesus to kill Jason Kendrick Howell as he gets his cheap, hellish laughs in Clarksville, Tennessee." Around this time, Chris reached out to who he believed to be Kathleen, sending them an email. Chris introduces himself and tells Kat that he has information to share with her in regards to Howell, saying that, quote, "He has been playing a major cog in the slander factory known as Encyclopedia Dramatica," describing how Howell has slandered him, how the ED page has ruined his relationship with Megan Schroeder and Joshua Martinez, and how it triggered negative emotions and caused a bout of depression. He tells her that Howell is responsible for him undergoing these tribulations, and alludes that Howell might have something in mind for her, and mentions how it's illegal for the 20-year-old Howell to be dating the 17-year-old Kathleen. Chris apologizes for telling her the information, thinking that it would enrage her, but he tells her that he felt it was right to inform her. Howell does state that Kathleen neither read the email nor responded to it. Howell notes when he began to lose interest in following Chris. Quote, "Afterwards, I sort of quit keeping up with Chris when ED helped him win that Guitar Hero contest." The Guitar Hero contest Howell mentions was the GameStop Be a Star sweepstakes that Chris entered in fall 2008. This contest was meant to promote the recent entry in the Guitar Hero video game series, World Tour. Each contestant must submit a picture of themselves in a rock star pose according to the rules, and the winner would receive a $400 gift card to GameStop. A later disproved rumor was that the winner of this contest would be included in the game as a playable character. On /B and ED, trolls that believed this rumor encouraged people to vote for Chris in order to ensure Chris's presence be made known to the wider world. Chris won the contest and thanked his fans in a video from December 28, 2008. Howell continues, quote, "But I got dragged back when Clyde Cash pretended to be me when he hacked his website. That was when I got an angry phone call from him that led to the 'I'll break you dead' quote." On January 12, 2009, Clyde Cash posed as Howell after a series of trolling events including the Greg Mays emails, and Clyde demanded that Chris make more videos, but he changed his mind earlier and revealed himself on January 17th. However, Chris did not see this change, and it led to a phone call where Chris left an angry voicemail for Howell, which you heard earlier. ED asks Howell about the first time that he ever got in contact with Chris. Howell says, quote, "The first time I ever contacted Chris Chan was when we first discovered about him, but he pretty much ignored me at the time. He later contacted me on ED when he found out that I was the one who made the page. He sent it back in April, I think, and I did not get it until June or so. I sent him the email he read in the YouTube video, and he sent me back an email with a 'fuck you' in it. Afterwards, he went all stalker on my ass and started to dig up info on me. I honestly thought he was planning on coming down and killing me at the time, since we did not know what he was like back then. He finally contacted me back in fall of 08 or so, when he got his website hacked, and left a nasty voicemail since he thought it was me at the time. The very last sort of contact I have with him recently was when I sent him a package with the first disc of MGS3 SE in it, but he was so paranoid of the mail that he sent it back." Howell later explains that the reason he sent the disc is because he was bored. In regards to the interest surrounding Chris, Howell has this to say, quote, "It's sort of amazing, although I think it would have grown either way, with me or without me making the ED page. He has his own website, YouTube channel, forum dedicated to keeping an eye on him, 2 whole wikis dedicated to him, one for the trolls and one for himself, fan webcomic, Flash adaptations of his comics, and many people on YouTube ranting and raving about the guy. He's pretty much in the same area Ed Wood is in. So bad he is good, although the only difference is Ed Wood had fans, Chris had none." Prior to the Blue Spike reveal in March 2009, there was speculation that Chris's status as a lolcow had been milked dry. Misinformation regarding him was propagated on the webpage, including claims that Ivy O'Neill was a blow-up doll, or that Chris molested his dog Patty. Visitors would later turn to the Quickie to obtain more relevant information and in an attempt to curb bias. Howell even states that the ED page is slightly behind on things when it is compared to the Quickie. In regards to Chris's ED page, Howell tells the ED interviewer that, quote, "Compared to some of the other articles on ED, it has the most content on a single person." On April 1st, 2009, Encyclopedia Dramatica took down the Chris Chan article and provided an explanation. However, they immediately reinstated the page the next day, pulling an elaborate April Fool's Day prank. As for the trolls, whether he was involved or not with other trolling efforts, Howell takes this stance. Quote, "The problem with the people that actively troll him is they put so much effort into it with disappointing results. For example, Liquid set up the whole Casey being his girlfriend thing, only for it to be ruined by Chris getting the Sonichu copyright and acting like it was a big win for him. I keep tabs on him mainly. The latest thing I did was a series of YouTube videos on Vivian's YouTube page that talked about the past Sonichu stuff. As for going too far, I think there was a couple of things I did not agree on, one of which was bringing Rocky, an aide at Chris's church, into the whole thing and blaming her, or trolling people that had nothing to do with anything. I'm still quite pissed about the copyright thing though, just as bad as the Guitar Hero contest." Chris has referred to ED as a central hub for trolling efforts against him, commenting on it in a video from September 13, 2009, where he found evidence to support his claim. He discusses efforts from trolls to Photoshop images to make it appear as if they came from a Sonichu game. Chris would attempt to counter ED's page in December 2009 on the Wikipedia. As time went on, Encyclopedia Dramatica would split between those remaining on ED and others who went on to form O Internet, a more safe-for-work version of ED in April 2011. However, the site did go offline in October 2013. One of the last questions from the ED interview is what Howell considers his favorite thing to come from the whole phenomenon. His answer, quote, "If I had to say, it would have to be the large amount of content people have created. The audiobooks, the commentary tracks, the flash cartoons, with many of them looking very decent, and just all the drawings people have made. Like I said earlier, it's baffling that he has this much mockery behind him, which is pretty fucking awesome that the internet can band together to make fun of an autistic idiot that is a leech on society in general." As of now, there has been no other comments from Jason Kendrick Howell. The Chris Chan article on Encyclopedia Dramatica was last edited on October 14, 2019. By the time Howell was interviewed in 2009, the article had at least 5,000 revisions. Now, the article has been voted the featured article on ED for August 5, 2008, August 11, 2008, April 1, 2009, November 15, 2017, and May 19th and 20th of 2018. The article is still viewable.